be enlightened, because where you are is not where you'll be. You are greater than your former. You don't have to stay where you are. Your best days are in front of you. Your worst days are behind you. You will live to see God's word come alive. Better is ahead of you. Defeat is defeated. Grace is all over you. Your purpose is in your reach now. Better is ahead of you. Defeat is defeated. Grace is all over you. Your purpose is in your reach now. Better is ahead of you. Defeat is defeated. Grace is all over you. Your purpose is in your reach now.
Best days are in front of you. Your worst days are behind you. You will live to see God's word come alive in your life.
Welcome to the Life of Books online radio show. Happy Saturday to each and every one of you. We are excited and grateful to be here, right here in Washington, D.C., right across the street from Howard University. Yes. Wait, what do y'all say?
HU.
That's so. Rewind. Get some water. Rewind. She is going to represent for Howard University on today. Properly. Rewind. Welcome to the Life of Books online radio show. Right in the heart of Washington, D.C., across the street from Howard University. What they say, Shalonda? Oh my goodness. Shalonda is one of the professors at Howard University, so she is without excuse for saying HU right, the right way. At least I can say it wrong because I'm from the suburbs of Maryland. I'm entitled to say it like a white girl. You are out of order. Yes. Again, we welcome you, WLVS online radio listeners. We welcome you for those of you joining us on Facebook. We welcome you for those of you joining us on Facebook. Today is going to be extraordinary. So I invite you, if you are on Periscope, swipe up, swipe down, side to side, left to right, whatever you do, share this broadcast. For those of you that are on Facebook, I say to you as well, share it with your social media audience. I believe that one of these hearts sitting at the table will have something that will impact either your life or somebody you love. So take notes, get your paper, get your pens out. Go get some coffee, some tea, some toast. I wish I had some toast right now. And join us. The next 2 hours are going to be extremely wonderful. You do not want to miss any of these moments. This is a special weekend for us. I believe that every weekend is special, but there are certain weekends that should be highlighted. And for us who love and honor and serve the mighty God that we serve, this is Resurrection Weekend. And I mean, when I woke up this morning, my level of gratitude was beyond words. I often think that God, it was such an intentional moment that God chose his only son and gave up his life for me with my unworthy self. Am I doing enough for the sacrifice? And please ask yourself this question. If you don't have anywhere to worship on tomorrow, I invite you to worship with us. We are worshiping at Jabok Ministries. Our address is 2912 Ritchie Road in Forestville, Maryland. Again, it is 2912 Ritchie Road, Forestville, Maryland. I believe there is a word from the Lord in the house on tomorrow, and your life will be richly impacted if you show up. We're not streaming live. I believe that streaming takes away from some of the glory and some of the presence and some of the blessings if you're not there. So show up. Be in the number. Sometimes there is a blessing for just showing up. So I'll see you tomorrow. 10 a.m., 10 o'clock. Glory to God. Yes. All right. You ladies excited? You ready for today? Well, today we do not have a book to discuss. Today is one of my favorite moments. It's called Herversations. And yes, and it's a time to hear from the hearts of those people that you share life with. So for those of you that do not know, The Life of Books is an online radio show. And each month we choose a book, we pull out points from the book, and we come together as if we are sitting at home in front of the fireplace and letting you listen. So welcome into the intimate places of our hearts. Welcome into the intimate places of our world. We are living to be an answer. And I pray that through these Saturday mornings, it is always the last Saturday of every month that you find something that will encourage you, that will impact you, that will give you the courage and the strength and the motivation to just be great. That's all we want. Greatness is in you. So we're working to pull it out. Y'all pull it out of us. So we're working to pull it out of you. Before we get started, let's go around the room and do an introduction. My name is Dr. Nakia Wright.
Hello. I'm Dee. Hi, this is Tashia.
Mic rules. This mic we're only working with 2 mics today, so we got mic rules. Dee.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not even gonna pass it to you. These 3, this our mic for these 3, and then y'all, the 3 over there got y'all mics. So we about to do the mic pass. Yes. WLVS, we're going to put in one of the procurement requests for some more mics for next month.
Hi, I'm Shalonda. Tamika, everybody. Charmonique.
Marcy.
Do it again, Tashia.
Hi, this is Tashia.
Yes, don't worry. We will get some more mics next month. I believe God. I believe God. We're going to have some new mics. Yes, before we get started, I'm going to wait until the end of the broadcast so we can talk about our upcoming A Woman's Voice Family Conference that we are extremely excited about. But nothing happens without the support of those who believe in your vision. And today I want to acknowledge our sponsors. We have 2 sponsors. The first one is Empower to Engage. You never know who your yes will connect you with. And when we started out on this journey, our main motivation was to create something that we've never seen before. So we have a family conference for every heart in a family. Everybody should show up. We should have lines out the door. But the first company that came on to sponsor the vision has been in existence for a while, and I did not know this. And the company is called Empower to Engage. It is an organization after my own heart. Their focus centers around creating better marriages, improving family relationships, life skills implementation, and improving leadership skills. It is a perfect partnership for a heart of a woman's voice. I am grateful for their monies. I'm grateful for their vision. I am grateful for the partnership that this yes birth. So please, they are one of our sponsors and one of our vendors on April the 14th. Make sure you visit the table. We have created a moment, but a moment doesn't always answer every question. So this organization has partnered with us to be an answer after the day. Let's continue the conversation. I am excited, extremely grateful for them. And our next sponsor that I want to acknowledge is Fresh Dry Cleaners. Yes! My girlfriend and my very, very dear brother, Pastor Rochelle and Ishmael Wilson. I'm going to say that in reverse. Pastor Ishmael and co-pastor Rochelle Wilson. It's too early. By 10 o'clock, these words are coming out right. They own a dry cleaners. They happen to be, we happen to be clients of theirs. And I consider myself a VIP client because they come, they deliver, and they pick up. And it is such a convenient service that with so many things going on in our lives, it's just the level of convenience that Fresh Dry Cleaners has for you is, I think it's impeccable. They are opening a new location. They are currently located in Hyattsville. They're opening a new location in Capitol Heights, Maryland. The kingdom is expanding. Support our own. Keep the money in the kingdom. Make sure. I love it because it's an organic cleaners. You don't smell the cleaning products. And I love that. So again, I challenge each and every believer, support the kingdom. Go to Fresh Dry Cleaners. Get your clothes clean. Get them picked up and delivered. Don't do it on Wednesdays. That's my delivery and pickup day. But hey, get your clothes clean. Drop off. They come to your job. I think they have a pickup. They have a pickup downtown in Washington, D.C. You can take your clothes to work if you drive. They can pick them up right down there. Oh, wow. This level of convenience you cannot beat.
Yes. So good.
Yes. All right, ladies, let's get started. I'm excited. So we typically have pre-chosen topics for conversations, because most of us are used to working behind the scenes. Although it's been about 3 years, we're still becoming who we are going to be. And so all of our questions are typically pre-asked, so we're prepared for the moment. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't ask an impromptu question. Yes! The Bible says, be ye ready always. So I want to start out today with asking each and every one of you to share something with our listening and viewing audience, something that didn't know about you. That's easy. Let's just share something that people probably do not know about you. And again, for those that are just tuning in, welcome to the Life of Books online radio show. We are excited to be with you on today. We do not have a chosen book for this month. Today is just the matters of our heart. So we're just having girl talk today. So Shami, won't you kick us off? Tell us something that we do not know about you, Charm.
So something that most people do not know about me is that when I was between the ages of 7 and 9, I won 2 state championships for swimming.
Wow! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There's so much you don't know about Sharmi. And sidebar, she's starting her. If anybody has ever seen Sharmi serve, you've seen her do it in a manner that is like no other. And it is impossible to possess that talent and not share. So Sharmanique is starting her own class to teach you how to be a servant, an administrative assistant, an armor bearer. I'm so excited about it. And the first sign up is taking place at a Woman's Voice Family Conference on April the 14th. So bring your entire team to be a part of Sharmi's class. I promise you, it'll change you forever. She swims. She knows classical music. She plays the piano. She does ballet. She's a tap dance. We're about to sell these skills, Sharmi. We're about to do a one-man show. Marcy.
Okay, something about me you may not know. I play 3 instruments. I can play the flute, the violin, and the cello.
Really?
I do. And I read music.
What?
Come on.
Oh, I clearly don't know who I'm in covenant with.
And they try to keep me from being great, but I sing sometimes too.
Yes, you do.
Shalonda won't pass me the mic, but you know, they try to keep me from being great, but that's okay. You know, that's my side job.
I believe she be at home playing that cello for Mr. Otis.
The violin.
I don't own a cello anymore, but I can play.
Wow.
So good to know. Let's see.
Music, so
That is so
Antoine, Marcy can read music.
That's what attracted you to Otis.
yeah, my husband plays the saxophone and he has many other talents, but we're musically inclined. So
Let's see. Something that you guys don't know about me. You guys do not know that I used to do pageants. I was Miss Sweetheart 85. I was.
That's where this comes from. Wow.
I was. I've always competed. My mom made sure that I was always in a pageant every year, and I won in 85. It was a team pageant. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mom, I know that you're listening. Clearly, my childhood was deprived. I don't play an instrument. I don't know how to swim. I've never been in a pageant. Mommy, you have really screwed me up, Mom. Thank God for Jesus who saved me.
You were a prom queen? Did you go out for the prom?
No.
That's
Oh, I get to borrow your mic? Well, hello, everyone. I was captain of the step team. Poetry is one of my quiet expressions that I enjoyed thoroughly. And I was in a marching band.
Yes, Ms. D.
Yes. Is that enough?
That's enough.
It's my turn.
I just want to give a shout out to where I'm from, my foundations. I am a native of Ringo, Virginia, and I went to Johnson C. Smith University in North Carolina. So, hey everybody.
Ringo. Where is Ringo? I don't know. She made that up.
I'm trying to figure out what people don't know about me. I was born at Howard University Hospital. Is that something that doesn't know? Howard all my life, basically. I used to do liturgical dance, and I used to teach liturgical dance to the kids in the community. Yeah, but my body started doing something funny. I can't do it no more. And I like sour Skittles with a ginger ale. That's my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
At the same time.
Wow, I did not know that. I asked a question. I mean, I didn't expect all of this. This is great. Oh my goodness. So what I have to say is like really small, but it's who I am. I think one of the things about me is I don't think people know that I have like really bad nervous energy. And you'll never see me not chewing gum because gum balances my thoughts and keep me in focus of the moment. And if I'm not chewing gum, I make Charmy's hard life really hard because I zone all the way out. And wherever I am, she'll be like this, face. So chewing gum for me is like therapy. It keeps me in the moment. So hey, again, I didn't do pageants. I don't know how to swim. Meanwhile. Yes. So for I think only the people at this table know this. People at this table, we're working on a book project together. And one of the things that I want to discuss is directly focused on the book that we're writing. Wait 1 second. I have to acknowledge the power behind the cameras. Hadassah is behind the camera. Laura is behind the camera. So one at a time. Hadassah, you first. Come up here and tell us something that we don't know about you. Come on, Hattie Mae. You never forget those who make you great. The people behind the scenes are the ones that's really doing all the work. Yes.
I too was in a competition in high school. I'm so sad about it.
Put the mic up to your mouth.
I won 2 years in a row. What was it? Regional it was for Skills USA. It was in the area of job skills demonstration. I do cosmetology.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a licensed cosmetologist.
Yes.
I won 2 years, and believe it or not, I went to national state, which we had to compete against all the schools in Maryland. And I won second place, and it was for public speaking.
Yes! Come on, Laura Bell. Tell our viewers something we don't know about you, Laura Bell.
Let's see. Hello, everybody. Yes. Good morning. Probably one of the things that nobody at this table knows about me is that I used to want to be an actress.
Okay. Really?
Once upon a time, I used to want to be an actress.
Wow, that's so good.
Casting calls.
That's so good. Tasha.
We make dreams.
She
picked up the phone and then she's making a call right now.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was saying just a moment ago, we're all working on a book project. And one of the topics that we're discussing in our book is recovery. So today I asked each of the ladies to share with us what advice would you give someone coming out of the posture of recovery? Again, for those of you that's just joining online, welcome to the Life of Books online radio. Today, we are not reading a book. We're just sharing the sentiments of our heart. Thank you so very much. Grab your cup of coffee, grab your tea, and stay with us. We'll be with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Marcy, what do you have for us today?
My advice for someone coming out of recovery is don't get comfortable. When I think about the literal term of recovery, if you've ever been to a hospital, if you've ever had a surgery, when you're in recovery, you have people catering to you, you have people giving you therapy, they might feed you, they may even have to bathe you, and so you become dependent on that. And again, my advice would be don't get comfortable. Muster up courage and your stamina for I will be better than before the pain. And so that's my advice. I think the greatest threat to life after yesterday is comfort. And while comfort will allow you into your tomorrow, it will dull your sparkle. So don't get comfortable.
That was so good. For those that are tuning in for the first time, when you hear us ring these bells, that means we're really excited. We go to church, so we usually jump up, run, and scream. And since we can't do that here, we just hit the bell. Yes.
We need a tambourine now.
And since I'm still perfecting my tambourine game, I'm not going to bring it out just yet. In Jesus' name. I need help. If anybody that's listening can help teach me to beat a tambourine, please reach me via Facebook. I want to be the whole tambourine. And in addition to beating the tambourine, I need to teach me how to tune my ears out so I don't hear anybody else beating a tambourine so I can stay on beat. So I need a twofold class. Tasha, what you got, honey?
My advice to someone that's in the midst of recovery is it's okay to be still, just don't get stuck. Oftentimes we stay in the recovery process a little longer than we should. So my advice is chart the course. Find out what brought you to that point and how you can overcome and extract what it was that you were supposed to learn from whatever it is that got you in the place that you needed recovery.
One of the things that I said about recovery is do not make permanent decisions in a state of temporary emotions. Yes. Emotions seem real, but they're full of betrayal, perceived truth, and destruction. Emotions unchecked will overpower truth. Yes. And so I just advise anybody coming out of recovery that quiet is powerful. Quiet is necessary. And in the moments of recovery, oftentimes strength is hard to find. The fact that you wake up every morning should be your strength. God does not make mistakes. And the fact that he woke you up, that means that the promise that's on your life is not over. Don't ever give up on you in recovery. Just know that recovery is a necessary learning process in your life. Learn all the lessons you can in recovery so you won't repeat the same mistakes. So just look at recovery as a learning stage of life. Get the power out of your pain and let the power just motivate you to be who you were called to be. Because pain is an excellent motivator. It shouldn't be the only motivator, but it pushes you in a way that complacency can't.
That's a word.
Yes.
So, Mika, what you got for us today?
If I had to give advice to a person in a state of recovery, my words to you are keep growing. Keep growing.
That's a t-shirt.
Those are my words to you. And here's the deal. Strong roots are necessary for fruit-bearing trees. Amen. Your painful places will help ripen what you release to nourish others. It can be discouraging to feel like your winter will never pass. We all know what it feels like to look out the window at other people experiencing the spring of their life, yet you experience another season of winter because your recovery may take a little longer than you anticipated. People in recovery are usually stiff or sore, and they stay in the comfortable confines of their home. That's my advice to you. Do the same. In your posture of recovery, if you're bouncing back from one of life's trials or hard hits, stay in the confines of your safe place and build internally. Let your roots grow strong so that when you do sprout above ground in your spring, your fruit can nourish those who witness your story. Keep growing.
One of the things that I'll say about being in the posture of recovery, coming from like a medical background, one of the things that I'll say is that rest brings healing. Amen. That when your body has experienced shock and trauma, you have to rest. You have to take time to do that. And while you're resting, you have to understand why this happened to me. What happened that put you in the posture that you even needed to recover in the first place? And once you recognize what that is, then recognize the patterns that took you to that place, because oftentimes life will repeat. You know, it's on repeat, and you're like, okay, I thought I've seen this before, and yet you'll make the same mistake over and over again. So you re-injure yourself. Yes, you can re-injure yourself. So one of the things that I'll say is, as you rest, don't add stress to the injury, because that will cause you to re-injure yourself and put you back into the place where you need to recover. But in time, you have to apply the proper force with the right guidance. So a lot of times people go to therapy, right? And if you have someone who is skilled, someone who can direct you in the ways that you should go, that skilled person can apply the right amount of force to that area that used to hurt you. And after that part is over, you'll build strength in the place that was once weakened. So that's what I'll say. Make sure you rest. Understand why. Don't repeat the patterns. Don't apply extra stress, but in time, apply the right amount of force, and that will give strength to that muscle that was once weakened. And then this is another thing. Speak your truth. A lot of times we stay broken or in a place of hurt because we don't speak it out loud. You never know the power until you actually speak what it is that's happened to you, and you never know the answer that you can be for someone sitting right next to you. So that's what I'll say about recovery.
And if you're looking for a skilled person to help you out of recovery, I invite you to join me for worship on tomorrow at 2912 Ritchie Road, Forestville, Maryland. The zip code is 20747 for those of you that will look us up on MapQuest. Sharmi, come on now.
So for me, when I thought about recovery, I thought about not getting tired in recovery. So everybody knows I like to drive, and immediately I thought about the drive that we take often from here to North Carolina. In the drive, depending on how your day went, depending on what life threw at you, what happens is you can tend to get tired on the way. On your way to the destination, recovery is just bringing you to a place it brings you to a place. And so if you're on the road to recovery and you get tired in the way, you will miss the whole point of the recovery. You'll miss it because by the time you get there, you're so tired, you're so worn out, you're so done and through that all you want to do is rest. You want to sleep. You done missed the whole point. You're supposed to be there for one thing, and you go to the hotel room and you just sleep it away. Because you're tired. You didn't take the proper steps, like everybody else has already said. You didn't take the proper steps that you needed to heal on the way, to rest on the way, to do whatever it is you needed to do to get to your point of destination with energy. So keep going. Keep going. Don't get tired of waiting. Don't get tired of recovering. Don't get tired of, like Mika said, you see everybody else doing something and recovering and at their own speed, at their own time. But you have to take the time you need for you. So keep going.
Keep going. So good.
Hi, everyone. Mine's, I would start out by saying breathe. To inhale hope and exhale despair. Everything you have left is enough to survive. Recovery is truly a choice. And recovery is birthed in when you find purpose. I have found that recovery is truly a mechanism of rerouting. So often we are committed to the emotions of grief that we do not see the beckoning of relief. We don't see the signs that this is not my permanent destination. And I would definitely tell you to check your circle. If your circle is crying louder than you, get rid of them. If they are not commanding the strength of you to live, there is something wrong. And and make sure you find those who can handle your darkest truths.
Make sure that you can find someone who can handle your darkest truth. Yes! Woo, everybody cannot handle your darkness. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Whew. Out of all the hearts you just heard, if you don't remember anything else, remember, strengthen your resolve and choose life. Play this portion of today back over and over and over again. I know that I will. Ladies, those are some great nuggets to live off of, to grow off of. And we have to remember that as we get older, we're walking in the wisdom of our life, which means now these are our greatest days. Don't miss out on your greatest days. Wake up. What was that Spike Lee movie? Do y'all remember that? And he was like, School Days, wake up. Don't miss it. Come on. Whew. So good, so good, so good. All right, ladies. One of the things, one of the roads that many of us have walked down on that we haven't lived there, but each and every heart has experienced disappointment. And I often say this whenever I speak, that I remember growing up how many matriarchs there were surrounding me. I felt like I had a mother at every other street where I lived. And today it feels like the matriarchs are silent. And I believe, and this is just my small, minute opinion, is that a lot of matriarchs are quiet as a result of disappointment. So today, I believe that there's strength in sharing, as we said. So I asked each of the ladies to share their greatest disappointment and how it postured them for their greatest success. Shalonda?
One of my greatest disappointments for me was that I always said I was going to go to medical school, right? And so I signed up to take the MCAT, and I did everything that I was supposed to do, and at the very end, I decided not to do it. And for me, that was a personal failure. It was like, why did you stop doing what you were so passionate about? Like I always said, I'm going to medical school. I'm going to be a doctor. And I went inadvertently to school to become a medical laboratory scientist because it's almost like that dream deferred, like, you know, it didn't happen, but I'm going to go back and do it eventually. But I had no idea that that moment what caused me to now become a licensed medical laboratory scientist. And now I am supervising one of the biggest section in one of the area hospitals. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And so just because it doesn't look like what you thought it should be, doesn't mean that where you are or the outcome of it is not what you're supposed to be doing. It was God's will that it didn't go that way, you know, because right now I'm living out the words of the prophets that have spoken over my life, one being Bishop Donald Anthony Wright. You know what I mean? It's amazing to me how, I don't know, your husband is awesome. Yes, he is. Sometimes, listen, because I be like, Bishop, how did you know that? And he will say a thing, and lo and behold, that thing will happen to you. Let me tell you something. I thank God for my pastor. Amazing. So as I'm sitting here, amazing. You know what I mean? And so I am right where God wants me to be, and that is all right with me, without the MD and all. So I'm good on it.
Wait, your uncle just did his trial.
Yes,
how was that?
That was amazing. Listen. I did. I got a voice now. Listen.
Got a voice.
Listen. My uncle Gregory Buffalo. Come on, Uncle Greg. He did his license. He's licensed to minister. They signed the license right in front of us. Yeah. He preached his trial sermon at Temple of Praise on Wednesday, and I am so proud of him. It's like, you know how someone runs from it, because we do the same thing. We run from that, like, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. And finally, he was just like, okay. They had bets out on whether or not he was going to show up. They was like, yeah, I don't know if he's going to show up or not. Look, it is hilarious. But he preached that good word, and I was just so like overjoyed to see him walk in his purpose. That was absolutely amazing. And I know it's like a bittersweet because my grandmother's not here with us anymore. And when he said Dorothy Elizabeth Williams, I think I lost it. I was like, oh, I'm losing it. But one thing my grandmother always said, if you're going to pray about it, don't worry about it. And so that holds true. So I'm so proud of you, Uncle Greg. If you're listening, you should be listening. Okay. Amen.
My turn. The biggest failure that I think I experienced, but that turned into my greatest success, was probably one I could have avoided. I quit a job before I had another one. Right? And that was here's the deal. So this particular job position that got opened up is the reason I moved to Maryland. The organization restructured to have me here. The organization they paid to move me here, and I knew God had given me this position, but I guess youthful ambition had me feeling haughty, right? Making demands before it was time. I learned the power of waiting for God to promote you rather than making demands out of your intellect and what you think you deserve. Because what that season required me to go through was a season of financial strain, and now I'm trying to figure this out because I stepped outside of His grace in my own pride, right? And so that failure was a very huge lesson for me, because it takes time for you to get back on course, and you have to live out your mistakes in order to extract the lessons from them. And so after those years of processing to recognize where my error was, now I understand that success is a ladder climb. Yeah. Like, you don't go from ground zero to 250 overnight. Doesn't happen that way. Allow the course of life to mature you to the place where you can handle success, and God allows seasons to open back up in your life over and over again. So He does. So.
These stories are living proof that how God will turn your mistakes into and propel you to promise. I mean, he's a masterpiece at making great things out of broken pieces. He's so good. What you got, Sharmy?
You gotta do her now. Face.
It's because it was good. Okay, so at the risk of being super transparent, about 15 years ago, I was in a particular relationship, and the relationship ended abruptly, and it took me out. Like, I was in the house for like 2 weeks. Didn't come out. Crying every day. I mean, wouldn't eat, nothing. Just, it took me out.
Did you play those love songs that make you cry even harder?
No, I didn't do that. That's the worst though, but no, I didn't do that. And you be like,
No, I can't eat.
like, no. I mean, it was terrible. And so I got up and I came to church, and it just so happened that day, Bishop was like, if you can choose to come out of this, then the rest of your life will be great. And I was like, but what you mean? How am I come out of this? I was not in a good place. So after about a couple months, I began to recover. And that whole process taught me how to trust God. With everything, like everything about your emotions. Everything. So from your greatest pain, it taught me trust God. I learned how to pray through that. I learned how to fast through that. I didn't mean to fast, but I wasn't eating. I wasn't eating, but I spent the day praying. Now it wasn't like your normal like let's stand up and everybody come together and we're praying. No, I was seeking God because I was so broken. And I learned to trust God through that. And then shortly after that, I joined the intercessory team and so forth and so on. But I think that part of that came from being so broken that God became my only choice. Like, he brought me to a place where he was the only option. And I had to either accept him or not. And so I learned to trust him through that. So I think that that's one of my biggest disappointments. But it turned out great.
If
by
you've
the way.
ever heard Charmy pray, you understand her story because she prays with so much intensity and so much passion. So it's good to know. I mean, I didn't know. That was so good. If you ever need prayer, 301-516-1619. We'll get you the shamanic vitamin. Just say, can you pray for me, please? And she will say this. She will say, just give me one moment. Start it on. Yes. It came through pain. Yes, Lord. Woo, Marcy.
So I didn't pinpoint one failure or disappointment because they have been many. Yeah. But I'll share what just failure has taught me. So it has taught me that I am more like Christ than I knew. It has proven my, I'm gonna make up a word, get up ability. Come on here. You know, Christ he got up. Yes. And so this, get up ability has been proven. My get up ability has been proven through failure and disappointment. Yes. Trying again simply says I'm still in the fight. Yes. Failure has been a pruner. It has helped me rid myself of bad attitudes, wrong thinking. It has exposed areas of disobedience. Mm-hmm. It is an exceptional teacher. Mm-hmm. And I now leverage failure because I'm a risk taker. So at work, I'm a risk taker. Even at home, even with a woman's voice, I'm like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. And I am leveraging failure as a launching pad. Mm-hmm. It's getting me to my next. Yes. And I think that people should fail often, fail fast, recover fast, because again, it says that I'm still trying. Yes. When you're trying, that means you're taking risks, that you're trusting processes, you're trusting God, you're trusting processes, and just let it be your launching pad. Be inspired by failure. And as the ladies are talking and you're hearing, so take note of the people failing, falling, and getting up around you so that you don't have to go through those things. I am learning from every life that I'm connected to. That's my story.
That's great.
So there's a book that I read, matter of fact, it might have been about 15 years ago. It's called Failing Forward.
Yes.
By John Maxwell. That is a great read.
Yes.
That is a great read. He basically goes over what Marcy was just saying, how to use failure as a stepping stone, how to cause it to launch you forward. It's a great read for anybody looking for a great book.
That's really good.
Oh,
It's
I was going to
good.
say one more thing. I forgot because I wrote this down. So my testimony is Psalms 119:71. It was good that I had been afflicted.
Yes.
I just say failure keeps me grounded and humble. It points to the areas in my life that need editing, learning, and even maturation.
Amen. Amen. So good. It was good that I love God today. Yes. I like it. Tamika's fiance is a drum player, so she's hitting the bass as we speak.
That wooden floor is from Ringo, Virginia. That was from one of the wooden floor churches in Virginia.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I would calculate all my disappointments up in a sentiments of the disappointment at the time of my unanswered prayers. In the midst of my greatest disappointments, I didn't know God like I know him now, and I thought that he forsake me. I said some things to him that probably would disqualify me for where I am today. This is how I know that God is merciful. And so my greatest disappointment was unanswered prayers. I thank him for not giving me what I wanted. And now, as a result of that, I'm living some of the greatest days that I couldn't even dream of. My choices would have aborted my destiny. And I serve him with the passion and the consistency and the diligence that I do because I don't deserve him. So I love him. Unanswered prayers are the best thing that could happen for many of us. Because many of us in a state of brokenness, we pray our desire and not his will. And brokenness is so noisy that you can't always hear his will. So you're praying out of his will. And these are the moments where you have to thank him for the mercy of God. Because you surpass grace. And the mercy of God is what kept many of us. So I just, for anybody that's listening, because everybody is not broken. Anybody that's listening, if you're not broken and you have a voice that can bring somebody else out, share with them the sentiments of our heart today. Because unanswered prayers are necessary. we don't know what's best for us. 15 years ago, Charmonique would have never thought that she would be sitting here today. Let me tell you something. I thank God for unanswered prayers. They've saved my life.
Come on now, write it down, write it down. Write it down. I went back to a teenage rather, because I believe that it's our earliest disappointments that shape how we see the world. And I was in high school. I was actually a high school senior. I got accepted to 5 schools of choice. And the one that I wanted to go to the most, my guidance counselor at the time said, but your family can't afford for you to go there. And so he held up my recommendation, a letter that was necessary to secure my spot. And at the time, I was like, wow, it made you feel inadequate. Like, what? I didn't possess money. That's why I can't do what I want to do, but what it did was it positioned me to choose a school that I wouldn't have chose on my own. And so what ended up happening is, unbeknownst to me, it positioned me to always learn how to handle unexpected change. Change has been such a great catalyst of blessings for me. My life is a model of constant change. I had to learn. It was interesting. I was positioned in a school with predominantly white people for the first time. Of course, being a native New Yorker, Allen girl, I'm used to diversity, but not at the kind that I experienced. And that high school experience made me determine that any manner of influence I have, that I would make sure, if I can make your dream happen, I'm going to show you how. And now I am paid to show others how. So I thank God. I'm grateful.
So good.
Phenomenal. Yes. Now I am paid to show people how. You see this? I love it. Let me tell you something. I'm going to have some great Christmas presents because she running the biggest lab in Maryland. She paid to show people their dream. Man, they making good money. I can't wait to see what they give me for Christmas.
That's right. Yes. You have to wait till Christmas for me. Give me mine now.
I just want to welcome anyone who just joined us. Welcome to the Life of Books online radio show. Today we do not have a book, but we're just discussing sentiments of our heart. We do not take your time lightly, so thank you so very much for joining us. And in this segment, we are talking about how our greatest disappointments led us to a successful life. So we're going to wrap this session up with Tashia.
Hello. For me, this question was very tricky. And I mean, when I say that, I mean because when I think of disappointments, I think of falling short of expectations. And then it caused me to kind of reflect. Either I'm in denial or I'm numb to some things because I could not pinpoint a failure or a falling short or disappointment. I reflected on setbacks. I reflected on harsh expectations. But when I looked at the lining of it or how everything unfolded, I couldn't look at it as a disappointment. And so I would say that the fact that I've experienced some of these and the resiliency that I've developed from it would be the success for me. Yeah. I don't know if I reached my greatest success yet in life because I'm still building, but the resiliency from being disappointed or learning some tough processes will be my greatest success when it comes to just the recovery from that. I don't discourage easily. That's one of the things about my makeup. So I don't know if it's, I try to look at things for what they are and look at people for who they are, but for whatever reason, it takes a lot for me. You have to really bring it on for me to be disappointed or be off-kiltered. So that's my success of expectations and disappointments.
So good. I don't know. This is probably unexpected, and she didn't expect me to do so. But Laura, come share with us something that one of your greatest, because Laura is great. There's not one thing. You'll find out when you work in nonprofit that you have to be everything, and you have to learn what you didn't know because we are all we have. And Laura has been one of the greatest resources. Her and Sharmi, I mean, that's like the power team. She's become one of the greatest resources that I can go to for anything and everything. If she don't know how to do it, by the time she get finished Googling it, she done figured it out. I remember when I was going to Paris a couple of years ago, and I was like, Laura, I don't even know the basic things to say. This baby gave me a French lesson. I mean, come on now. And literally gave me this is a little booklet, this is how you say it, this is what you do. There's nothing that I've ever given her that she hasn't been able to do. So share with us some of your story, Laura.
So good.
Well, I would probably say, in answering the question that was on the table, my greatest disappointment, if anybody knows, in 2009, I worked in Prince George's County. I'm an educator. And growing up as someone who was always considered successful, considered an intellect, was groomed when I was in elementary school as one of the ones in the community who could to lose your job was a huge, huge change, and a disappointment that kind of almost broke me down to the ground. It truly did. And coming back from that was very difficult. But coming to work at the church, God saved me in that. Yeah. That became, and I know, and I say this in this wet manner because, I'm sorry, Charmy, I'm gonna hold on to you. Because I had dreams and visions that I was supposed to work at the church. And I told God no. I mean, I said no. I did. I said, I can't. I said, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. This is what I'm making all this money,
I can't afford to work at the church, is what she said. She told God, they don't pay me enough.
I mean, and in all honesty, it was really like, I'll help out in any way I can, but it in essence it was a no, and it came to the position where it was actually what saved my life, because after I lost my job, there were times when I was just like, God, why am I here? Just get me out of here. And I've learned so much, and he has really listening to everybody saying how God turned everything around for you and how he proved himself so faithful in my life. Because there's never, as you can tell, throughout all the time that I was, without a job and so on and so forth, I've never lost a pound, unfortunately.
Lord said, unfortunately.
I never missed a meal. And he always took such good care of me, despite everything that I felt I was going through. And
that's major.
I think I probably trust him more now than I ever thought I could or would. So like when things happen now, they don't destroy me anymore.
They don't destroy me. That resilient. So good.
And look at how it turned out.
Yes, you're a good, good father. Yes. Woo, I'm singing, I'm shouting. Man, let me tell you something. Woo. This is a good set. Somebody should hire me as a psalmist. I do have a song in my heart. Let me tell you something.
We get you April 14th. April 14th. You want to be a psalmist?
Yeah, I do want to be the psalmist. Yes. Yes, we can sing together. I don't know, Javita Shepherd, you might get canceled if I can come up with like 5 good songs. That's honey. We could do a mini concert. You might not want to follow me though, Marcy, because I make up words as I go. Like that song don't say that. To me it do. That's so good. Yes. Hattie, I think this is such a powerful question. I would like to ask you to answer it as well. I'm sure that your life is an answer as well, and will bless somebody with the words of your heart.
Yes. My greatest disappointments. I'm fairly young, I guess. I have made premature decisions, a lot of them, and a lot of them have taught me the one thing, which is just pace yourself. If God said he's going to do it, I have run on the words of the prophet. Like, he said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be rare. So I got to make this work for God. No, pace yourself. He's going to do it for you. So, I too have left a job prematurely, but it did open the door to a greater opportunity. And although it's still not where, I know I will be, it's getting me there. Amen. So I'm on the road to that place, and I'm good with that. So, thank God.
When you hear the stories that we've shared, I just believe that we've shared off of the mercies of God, because we've surpassed grace so many times. In this season of our life, we're living off of the grace of God, because you've learned so many lessons off of his mercies that you shouldn't keep living in that place in life. Stop. I don't want to, for me personally, it's a personal goal not to stretch the grace of God so thin in my life. Like, you know where your thus far, no farther point is. Yeah, let me tell you something. Utilize that in this season of your life. It'll save your heart. It'll save you years of recovery, because most people, it's a minimum of 7 years of recovery when you get off track. And this is the words that our bishop has said to us, and I remind myself constantly, God is not obligated to save you twice. You are not guaranteed, your heart is not guaranteed to come out of every recovery that your choices put you in. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Many of you already know that matriarchs are my passion. And I believe that my life, I am obligated to leave a legacy. And one of the things that we've done in times past was write a letter to your past self, write a letter to your future self. And today I asked us to write a letter. Who do we? To the next to our future generation. So that gave me a lot of pride, because I'm a new grandmom to one of the greatest little joys that's ever lived. I told plenty of people the thing that brought me the most tears has now brought me the most joy. I mean, she will light up a room. No, whatever room she comes in, she'll light up the room. And she truly feels like a gift from God. Let me tell you something. She wakens up parts of my husband that I never even knew was in there. Like, are you really dancing like that in the middle of the floor? What? Are you singing that song on that level? I mean, it is so good. And she's just cracking up laughing like it's nobody but her and her pop-up. I mean, she adores him. But it gave me great joy to be able to write this letter to her. Oh, it was passionate. It almost broke me for a second. But before we do that, unprompted moment, I always like for us to share like a funny story. And us together we're hysterical. But when we have to retell a story, it's like the most difficult things to remember, to pinpoint a story. So look, let's add some laughter to all this deep, wonderful words of wisdom that we're giving. And I'm going to let Tashia start out, because she is the jokester of the group. Give us a funny story, Tashia.
All days I do not. Okay, well, let's see. It would definitely have to be the other night. We had to record. We were pulled over because Hattie's light was.
Oh, my.
So we recorded, but it was just so hilarious that we thought the officer was being mean and he thought Hadassah was being mean, or vice versa, whatever. So Hadassah was like, get the tape, start recording. We might get shot.
They got pulled over by the police, FYI.
She's like, we might get shot there because she's digging in her purse. She's moving around. She's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, keep still till he get over to the car.
Keep still.
Don't look for nothing till he asks you for something. Stop reaching. So my hands in the air the entire time. And he was like, license and registration. I was like, why you pull us over? I'm still looking straight. But that was my most recent hilarious moment. We were scared and nervous and frustrated, so we started recording. The video is on the website.
Y'all went live?
Yeah, they did. It's hilarious. You got to look at the video. Shalonda, do you remember that time me, you,
that was our funny story.
And Sharmi got pulled over by the police? You tell a story. No.
Shami's face is so tight right now.
I do not like that story.
It was hilarious. Listen. I think it was I think something was going on with Shami's license too at the time as well. So that's what made it even worse. So we are coming back. I think we come from Rocky Mount. We was coming from Rocky Mount. I think Bishop had preached. I don't know what was going on. We was coming back from Rocky Mount, and we was like, "All right, girls, we going. We know we gonna have a party." So we in the car listening to Otis Redding, "Watch the Throne," Jay-Z. You know that Shami know that song. Otis Redding, how it go? She know the song. She know it. So anyway, the beat drops and we go crazy in the car, right? We just like, we give it all of it, right? So next thing we know, it's like, like, Jesus, be a fitzel tonight. Shami license expires for sure. She's definitely going to jail on tonight. We was like, what are we going to do? So listen.
So Sharmi is praying, and Shalonda ends in the back passing gas because she's so upset and so nervous.
I was gonna leave that part out.
Oh, she making me sick.
I was leaving that part out.
And Sharmi had on a real cute sweater. I was like, Sharmi, he not going to send you to jail because you're not going to jail in this sweater, honey.
Wait, and she said, what's the license? The kid was like, no, let me just give him my license. Sound like a white lady or something.
I got us. I saved the day because it was a white officer. I said, I got us. I look white. Come on, take this license. And the sad part about it is we were following somebody. So he told us that we were speeding, and the people that we were following was gracious enough to pull over because we got pulled over. So he left our car and went over to the other car and gave them a ticket too. It was Alex.
It was Alex.
It was Alex.
Yeah.
And he got pulled over. He was past the police officer. He could have kept on going. And he got a ticket because he pulled over to stay with us. It was one of the most hilarious nights.
I said, Shami, surely on today, she will leave us on today. No. It's bad for them. But that's one of Shami's favorite songs still to this day, though. It's one of her favorite songs to this day.
Yeah, it was a hilarious moment. Marcy, give us a funny story.
I don't have a funny story, but I'm gonna talk about who my best friend in my head is. So, so I follow Christy Teigen, and she is like my ratchet, shadiest best friend in my head because she gets people together. Now, one thing you all don't know about the group is that being shady is like the ultimate requirement. This is a shady bunch of people. You don't see that, but right here is the chief shade. Right here, this one. She is a CSO, chief shade officer. But Christy Teigen is like my best friend in my head because she is always getting people together, and I was just like, that's my friend. Look at my friend getting them together. Oh, look at her replying in the comments because I scroll down as my guilty pleasure. Sometimes I'll read the comments, and she's getting people together. And if you, I guess, baller alert, they always grab the comments. So anytime I see her, I was like, go best friend, you better get them together. And then she tweets the 45 and honey, she has no restraint. And I was just like, girl, get them together. So that's my best friend in my head. Not a funny story, but Christy, if you're watching, hey, best friend.
I think I was sharing this with you, Marcy or Sharmi, the other day. My best friend in my head is the lady who owns DMV Betty.
Oh yeah, that was us.
Oh my goodness! So she is on Instagram Live all the time, and her Instagram handle is Bag Boss. There's not a day to go by when I wind down in the evening. I wind down to her day. She is absolutely hilarious and out of order, and I don't know what I like about it, but it is so hilarious. Follow her. Let me tell you, she's pure entertainment. She lives her truth unapologetically. And look, there's something to be said. There's no God in it. Glory to God. But she is so passionate about the people she loves. There's no question whether or not she loves you. And she is so authentic. This is who I am. She owns her truth. And I could just appreciate the core of who she is. Yes. Mika.
Okay, so let me tell you who my best friend is. Nobody can judge me after I tell you. No judgment. Getting ready to be a wife, right? The ability to cook is within me. It just has to be cultivated.
It's in there, baby.
It's in here. in here. So my best friend is Chef Alex Garnaschelli. Whenever I need to get, confident and go in the kitchen, I turn her on demand. Come on, Alex, we doing this. I love her confidence. And she judges. So I play when she's judging people's foods real good. And in my head, I hear Alex telling me that my crunchy taco hamburger helper is so good. I hear her telling me that, and it just makes me feel so good inside, like she is my motivator. She is there when I burn dishes, helps me to recover. Dishes, it happens. I recover from my failures. And she is always there. So that's my best friend in my heart. Thank you, Alex.
I love this. Elder D, what you got for us?
Well, mine's just going to be one of these, what I call laugh at yourself moments. I was actually running for the bus. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't cute this day. And I was coming across the street like, yes, I'm catching this bus because I'm not going to be late today. Running across the street in the middle of the highway, sliding across the street, man down. If you know anything about me, you know I'm goofy. So I should have known better not to even start running. But you couldn't tell me that. So I get on the bus, stockings all jacked up, blood on my knee, and everybody on the bus trying to nurse me till we get to my stop. And if that wasn't even mortifying enough, I had to get on the metro with a holy knee stocking. But I said, I done trooped this far, I'm making it to work. So that's my story.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Oh, these are moments that just make life. I mean, laughter is so good for the soul. I think we shared a funny story. But a heart moment for me that's not funny but is so great was I don't think that I've ever publicly acknowledged the Dream Team when my granddaughter was being born. When Malia was, we had dinner planned that night, and I had to cancel dinner because we took Kayla to the hospital and they were taking the baby that day. And they came and they never left our side until she was discharged. And I just have to thank God for you publicly, ladies, for who y'all have been. Y'all have never left my side in the sensitive moments of my life. And I love y'all so much. They took a moment. We laughed the whole time in the hospital. I mean, we went and got food, and Dee had ranch dressing all in her hair. I mean, we laughed the entire time. Tashia was about to fight people on behalf. I mean, let me tell you something. They are ride or dies. No, you know what? I won't say ride or dies. They are life givers. In the moments of where you feel like life has drained you, these ladies give life to difficult moments. So they're not ride or dies, they're life givers. That's my new name for them. Yes, I love them. Again, if you're just joining WLVS online radio, thank you. Did y'all know that WLVS was the #1 online radio show? Did y'all know that? Yes. And it's such an honor to be a part of the WLVS family. For those of you that's just joining in, thank you so very much. Your time we do not take lightly. We appreciate you so very much. This is The Life of Books. We are an online radio show. The Life of Books is an affiliation of A Woman's Voice. If you want to know more about who and what A Woman's Voice is, please feel free to visit us online at www.awomansvoicematters.net. And one of the questions that I've asked these, did y'all see that that commercial I slid in there? Yes, yes. This part is really like, pulls at my heart. But one of the questions I asked the ladies was to pen a letter to the next generation. And to me, I penned a letter to my baby Malia. And I said to her, no's are necessary in life. No's build character. No's strengthen your resolve. No's keep you grounded. No's wake up the core of who you are. Never let a no lead you into self-destruction. No's sometimes knock you down, but the purpose is to make you stronger. No's without a regulated mind will sabotage your character and damage your integrity. It is my job to teach you the power of a no. Let no's offer you learning lessons. Let them strengthen the things that remain in you. No's remind you that God is in control and has the final say over your entire life. You were born to be great. A no is necessary, and you are a right. You can do anything.
Okay. So I wrote a note to my nephew, Jonathan.
Shamanique's sister, are you watching? This is to Jonathan.
So it says, hey, nephew, I just want to remind you that although you may not see it just yet, you are a spitting image of your mother. You're stronger than you realize. You already possess the innate ability to overcome. So in the days to come, don't let life destroy that. It's our secret weapon. Dare to be different, to step outside of the box and become what only you can see. Don't be afraid to leave the familiar to go after what you really want. I know none of this makes sense right now, but it will. And when it does, always remember to keep your overcome ability intact. It's how you'll survive. It's how you'll defy the odds. It's how you'll become. I love you to life and can't wait to see the great things you'll accomplish in the days to come.
That's so good. That's so good. These, to me, are footsteps that when we are dead and gone, that these footsteps can go back and be traced. One of my husband's greatest heroes, I would say, maybe hero is not the right word, but the greatest scholar that my husband has ever studied his work on, his name is Kelly Varner, and he's no longer here. But when I tell you, I think Kelly Varner had to write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. And even though he's passed away for a very long time, he left his word in the earth. He had to die empty. That had to be his goal, because the way my husband thinks, I don't know another person that thinks the way he thinks. I mean, the places his brain goes, I'm like, how did you get that off of a piece of candy paper on the floor? I mean, his level of revelation, his level of understanding the scriptures, and his relationship with God, I've never seen it in another breathing being. And so in those moments, and it's difficult when you live on that level to find someone that would like to have the conversation on that level. And so it gives me joy when he can go over to the bookshelf and pull a Kelly Varner book and get answers to where he is. So I am pushing every listening voice. Leave something for the next generation. Don't die with all your knowledge, all your wisdom, and all your experience in you. Leave a legacy in the earth so somebody can pick it up and it can give them life. Yes. So. Shalonda?
Yes. So I didn't have a particular person so I just addressed it as a collective to the young people. I love the young people. And so I'll start with this, and then I'll end with a quote by Mary Ann Williamson, which is one of my favorite quotes ever in life. So I say, in the midst of darkness, rise up. We are the change, so drive the change. Seek to become a positive vibration. You are the bow and God is the archer. As the archer pulls back the bow, this is potential energy or energy that is stored up. The goal is to become kinetic energy or energy that's in motion. The tensions of life comes, but the harder the tension, the further you'll go. So when you feel the tension, just know that's God aiming you and pointing you in the direction that where you need to become. And the greater the tension, the further you'll go. So I'll drop down. I want to read all of it. He will point you in the direction of where you'll need to be, and then he'll release you. So stay in his will. There is no limit to where you can go, nothing you can achieve. Think big, speak with clarity, live on purpose, walk in your dreams, walk in peace, and rise up. Winning is non-negotiable. You can, you will, and you must. You are the answer for a greater tomorrow. And I'll end with the quote by Marianne Williamson. And I think we all know this quote, right? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to manifest the glory that is within us. It is not within some of us, it is in everyone. And when we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
And that quote comes from the book called A Return to Love. I highly recommend it. Beautiful book. I wrote my letter with the children that I teach on a daily basis in mind. You are a child of God. It's important that you know what that means. Your creator is God. Realize that your creator created you to create. You're a pure channel of God's light. Live life knowing that conforming to the designer duplicate of other people completely discredits the originality of your creator. Don't mistake your individual identity for self-sufficiency, though. That independent woman's jargon goes against the grain of your design. All of your gifts and strengths are stronger when interdependently woven with other beings of God's creation. Stay tender toward humanity. Be open to new impressions and diversity. Never fear what you don't know. Life is a learning process. You aren't separate from God. He himself is literally the love you share with other human beings. Don't be cruel towards yourself. Don't be critical of yourself. The way you care for self will translate in the relationship you share with others. Don't ignore yourself. Don't bury your emotions. Don't dull your sensitivities. Follow them to your passion. Stay free. When you feel betrayed, disappointed, let down, overlooked, pray for those you'd like to hold responsible for your brokenness. Releasing control of your own life doesn't mean you're losing control. It means stay free. When you feel betrayed, disappointed, let down, or overlooked, pray for those you'd like to hold responsible for your brokenness. Releasing control of your own life doesn't mean you're losing control. It means you're comfortable in your Creator's choices. Let Him guide and govern all of your decisions. Try not to process other people's misaimed anger, insults, or hurtful words. Stay committed to living in love on purpose. Recognize that you are a force to be reckoned with. Recognize that who you are represents nourishment and healing for others. Life's utmost fulfillment flows out of service. To love is to serve, and to serve is to experience the purest joy available to mankind. Maintain your own mind. Never let the notion of thinking fall asleep. Stay true to your convictions, even when they invite inconvenience. You won't ever be perfect, but your Creator is masterful at carving the most beautiful treasures from mistakes we make. Employ the practice of deferred gratification. Build the internal discipline necessary to say yes to the impossible, because no thing and no one stands in your way. Stay authentically you.
Yes.
Go on, Mika.
I know, I don't want to go after that, but anyway. I should have went first. Dear brilliant, bright, remarkable one, Yes, you, the one who was God's idea before time began. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, created to be light in a dark world. Remember, don't ever be comfortable just doing enough, and never allow God's idea of you in the earth to go to waste. Create a legacy for the ones to follow. Speak life in every situation, for your words will either create a liberated future or your wilderness. Know this, God is and will forever be the I am to your possible. Yes. And in the words of my spiritual father, Bishop Donald Wright, don't flirt with quitting. Remain steadfast because commitment is your bridge to promise.
Very good, Marcy. Just take a picture of it.
Don't be screenshotting her notes.
Come on, Tasha.
Okay. I too wrote the letter to the next generation, starting with my grandchildren. Hey, it's Gigi. They call me Gigi.
I love it. I love you sometimes.
I often wonder how things would turn out for you. Let me just say that you were not a mistake. If there was a mistake made, it was made by your mom and dad by not practicing abstinence. But you, my dear, the mistake. That was a plug for my children.
That was a plug for my children. For all your sons.
I was coming for all of them.
All my sons.
Y'all, Tasha's sons, y'all better stop.
Put it up. But you, my dear, have changed my world. You were the most fantastic, frightening news I've ever gotten. I believe grandchildren are God's most precious gift to a parent, and I'm sure all grandparents will agree. I have great expectations for you. I never doubted your parents, your dad, and his youth, and he turned out okay. And neither should you. Don't doubt yourself. I wouldn't allow them to be lazy, reckless, or content, and I will not allow you as well. Take big chances. You will discover new and great things. You will have a happy and productive and successful life. Figure out what really matters. Don't live in the now. Live so that your future self will applaud and thank you. Be brave, be savvy. Don't allow the follies of your youth to have a lasting impact on your adult you that will cause you to spend extra time trying to right your wrong. Be hungry for success. Planning will be essential. Plan for your future. Save money, don't spend it all. Achieve a financial independency at an early age and invest in a house when you move out of your parents' house. With your wit and your smart and the ability to think outside of the box, no scratch that, don't be boxed in. If there's anyone that can transform the nation, it will be you. Yes. Remember this, always have hope. Foster it in yourself and in others. No matter what life brings you that day, you will make it. As long as you live your life with the integrity and the honesty, the truth within will be fulfilled with hope. With hope, you will be unquenchable. And when hope springs forth, others will see it in you and in your countenance and in your words and in your eyes. Your hope will leap onto others. You will do anything you hope you can do. Yours truly, Gigi.
Yes. I'm gonna have you wrote that note to hold it all the time.
Well, with us being a woman,
They write like Hebrew.
Yeah, it's just flip the other way. I don't know.
with us being a woman's voice, I wanted to speak to those who would dare use their voice in the next generation. So,
You need me to hold the mic?
yes, please. You come from a rich legacy. You come from an inheritance of geniuses, architects, scientists, inventors, activists, leaders, and trailblazers who, when there wasn't a way, they created one. Yes. You are standing on the backs of the former generations who died for your right to your voice, your independence, and your access to limitless opportunities that are available to you now. They believed your future was worth dying for. Yes. You've picked up the baton of vocalizing your cause. I am impressed with your boldness, your refusal to accept the status quo. Yes, the World Wide Web has garnered you a global stage. you've recognized you cannot make an impact being quiet.
Yes.
While the sanctity of guarding our children's innocence has become folly, you've been forced to process grown folks' agendas of egotistical aims. May you pull strength from generational blessings. The evidence of your legacy is seen in the voices of Naomi Walder, Virgil Smith, Yara Shahadi, and Elizabeth Gonzalez. May you adopt the values that have anchored me and proven to be sustaining. Choose love, a lifestyle of optimism, gratitude, humility, thoughtfulness, and thank yous, not in lip service, but in deeds. Embrace the many lessons life seasons will bring. It takes a multitude of diversified experiences to cultivate greatness. Be teachable and open to new experiences. They are the gateway to fulfillment. I am so proud of you. My generation's example has shown we are consumed by our public perception rather than own our space of influence with integrity and grace. We've forgotten we are more alike than we are different. Yes. We've forsaken a foundational truth. Love wins.
Love wins.
Next generation, the world is yours. What will be your legacy? May you repair the breaches and leave the world in a better condition than the one you received.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
I love it. If there was something that I could do, ladies, your letters were phenomenal. Thank you. I pray that you type them up, frame them, do something. Make sure that whoever your letter was written for and to, that they see it. One of the things that if I had known God the way that I know him now when my kids were younger, I would have instilled in them something that I wish that I would have known, that your life is not your own. When you realize that your life does not belong to you, you won't make some of the choices that many of us have made. You will find out who God called you to be in the earth. You will let him come out of you, and your choices will reflect who he said you would be. So if I could say that to anybody listening when it comes to the kids, tell them you were carved, you were designed, you were here for a purpose. Find out what that purpose is. Don't reinvent the way because it's easy. Easy does not create success. Easy creates destruction. So anyway, so good. Ladies, give yourselves a round of applause. This is so good. We come to you each and every month, the last Saturday of every month, the Life of Books. Typically, we are an online book club. Typically, we do have a book selection each month. But this month, I'll reiterate what I said. I love to hear from the hearts that I'm in covenant with. And I've learned, as much time as we spend together, I've learned so much more about them today. Appreciate these moments. If you would like to stay in tune with us, if you'd like to know what it is that we're doing, you can visit us online at www.awomansvoicematters.net. I always forget the dot. Visit us online. We always keep a fresh word on the World Wide Web. We are on social media as WAWV Empowers. Again, all of our social media handles on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram is AWV Empowers. Very quickly, I just want to share with you all, we're going to conclude a little early today. I would like to conclude with Charmaine closing us out in prayer and in honor of the power that this week entails for us. We're all here because this week happened. I just want to invite each and every person listening to join us on Saturday, April the 14th. We've created a family conference. I've never seen anything like this before. The family conference was derived from questions that each and every one of us have had at one stage of our life, and experience had to be our teacher. So we put together a program of wisdom speakers to come speak to husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, young kids of all ages, male, female, to come. It's a day of empowerment. It is. We've in times past we've empowered women because we felt like we wanted to wake up the voices of women. You know, there's so much wisdom in us, and life has quieted us. But we realize that while we've empowered women, and there's women's conferences every day of the week now, which is great. But while we're empowering women, we're not empowering them as one, the entire family unit. So this is designed to take the entire family to a place that when you look at TV, when you look at what you envision a family to be, you don't see it much these days. We don't do the things that's necessary to keep a family strong. We allow life to we allow circumstances to escape the very important things in life that matters. I mean, there's so much life in sitting down, eating together. I'm talking to myself and letting you listen. You miss the heartbeat of what's going on with your children or what's going on with your kids. It's not enough just to be there. There has to be some action in your presence. And oftentimes, when we realize that something is needed, so much has gone on, it almost feels like it's too late. Or we respond in dire situations. We're reactive rather than proactive. And a woman's voice has created a day to design you to be proactive and not reactive. Join us. It is on Saturday, April the 14th. I promise you that your life will be impacted and changed. Bring the kids in the neighborhood. If you want to come and you don't have the $35 registration fee, I mean, the community has come together to be great. We have a few people that we have money laid up for sponsors. So if you want to come and you need to be sponsored, just inbox me. Let me know that you want to come and you don't have the $35. There are people who's waiting to bless your life. So reach out. Be there. Don't let money keep you from not being there. Again, you can find out all the information about the conference on our website at www.awomansvoicematters.net. And each of the ladies have typed it in the comments section. Thank you, ladies. If you're looking for a place to worship on tomorrow, I invite you to a place that's my safe place, a place that saved me, a place that taught me how to be all that God called me to be in the days where I didn't even know that I needed help. That address is 2912 Ritchie Road in Forestville, Maryland. I invite you to worship with us on tomorrow. It is going to be an impactful day. Our service time is at 10 o'clock a.m., and I look forward to you joining us. For all of our listening audience, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you. And today, we're going to close this segment out in prayer. Ladies, thank you for your truth. Thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your wisdom. I love you so very much. Charmy.
Father, we thank you. We bless you. We honor you. It is a privilege, God, to serve you. We are so grateful, God, for your sacrifice. God, we could not have gotten up if you didn't get up. So thank you so very much for getting up, God. Thank you so very much, oh God, for your sacrifice, for your blood, God, that speaks better things for us, God. It says that we can live. It says that we can be whole. It says that we can be free. It says that we can rise because you are within us. God, we thank you so very much, oh God, for your blood has caused us to overcome. Your blood has caused us to be triumphant. God, we thank you so very much, oh God, that your life cost us everything, God. God, we thank you so very much, God, that everything that you did on Calvary's cross, God causes us to live, God. It cost our yes, God. God, we thank you so very much, oh God, that your death, God, that your burial, oh God, that your resurrection, oh God, that your ascension, oh God. God, it means that, God, we have a life and we are free. So I pray in Jesus' name, oh God, that everybody that's listening, God, to the sound of my voice, God, that today, God, they would get up the strength to live, God. They would get up the strength to trust you again, God. They would get up the strength to hope against hope, oh God. They would get up the strength, oh God, to say that I am risen because my Lord has risen. God, I thank you so very much, oh God, that everybody that's listening today, oh God, they will be healed, God. They will be set free, oh God, because today you set the captive free. God, we thank you. Yesterday you died, but today you set us free. So thank you so very much, oh
God, for every bondage being broken, God, every chain being broken, every weight being lifted. God, we thank you so very much, oh God. We thank you, and we thank you that tomorrow, God, as we celebrate your resurrection and your ascension, God, I pray, oh God, that everybody that opens up their heart to worship you, God, God, that you would set them free. God, that you would open the door for a new life in Jesus' name, God. A life where they overcome, a life where they win. God, we thank you so very much, oh God. We bless you, God. We honor you, God, but most of all, we love you. We love you, oh God. We thank you. We trust you. We honor you. We serve you, God. We thank you so very much. We celebrate you. God, we thank you. We thank you. We bless you. It's in your name that we've prayed. Amen.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Who wouldn't serve a God like this? God, I thank you. It is with that we sign off on behalf of the Life of Books. We wish you well. We bless you. We'll see you next month. Amen.